Alrighty, everybody. Good morning. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Tuesday morning. Good to have you guys here for another update. So we're doing a bit of a morning update here for you guys on the tropics. Things are definitely starting to get pretty serious out there regarding Emilda, which is the big storm that we're going to be tracking here over the next several days here, just in order to keep you guys safe and informed, because if you guys haven't heard about it, the thing is going to be a big problem for Bermuda. Now, looking at it this morning, it looks a little bit better. I mean, you obviously got that really good circulation. Convection's really popping off here. I mean, obviously there's no eye or whatever. Wait a minute. Is it a hurricane? Oh, it's a hurricane now. I just noticed that. I thought it was still an upper tropical storm, but no, look at that, man. It's now a hurricane. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, I thought the circulation looked pretty good. Anyways, what's up, Tabletop? Good to see you. What's up, Rich? Saying good afternoon. Man, it's morning over here. It's 8 in the morning for me, Eastern time. So you're in Europe, though, aren't you? I don't know. I have a really hard time remembering. But anyways, yeah, but it looks a lot better this morning here. It is starting to move its way here to the east now, which it will continue to over the next couple of days here. And then, of course, it will eventually end its way up here by Bermuda. Now, as of the last update that we gave for you guys, we talked about how we do have, not tropical storm, hurricane watches in effect out there for Bermuda. Let's actually have you guys back over here. Yeah, this is actually brand new. It literally just became a hurricane here. So we still got Humberto. Humberto is rapidly weakening right now. It is definitely doing pretty poor right now. We are seeing it sustained winds of 100 miles an hour, central low down to 972 millibars, moving to the northwest at 15 knots or 17 miles an hour. Now, Emilda, like I said, brand new hurricane, just became a hurricane here literally just a few moments ago. I mean, look, this is fresh off the press. This is an 8 o'clock update. It is 8:05. It's a hurricane now. 75 mile per hour sustained winds here. Central low down to 980 millibars, moving to the northeast at 7 miles per hour. Now, looking at the cone here, like I mentioned, we do have hurricane watches in effect for Bermuda. For the entire island of Bermuda, you can see, watches down here, hurricane watch. So we do have that in effect here that we do need to obviously, watch out for. In which, that's probably going to become a hurricane warning here, probably within the next little bit. So we're going to be seeing the system kind of approach for the later evening of Wednesday, from what it looks like. So we should get our hurricane warnings today. More than likely we will, given the confidence in the system. I mean, look at that. Thing's already pretty big. I mean, the wind field's pretty large. I mean, even the hurricane force winds is pretty large here. But yeah, no, we're likely going to get hurricane warnings here later today. But yeah, the impact, the point of which the worst of the effects are going to be felt for Bermuda is going to be here pretty much for the later portion of Wednesday, kind of in the evening here for Wednesday. So, obviously now we need to prepare if you haven't already. You need to get on it, because this is definitely going to be a very nasty storm here for my folks out there by Bermuda. So, and of course, right now, hopping back over here to the current satellite view. So this is Humberto. Humberto is pretty close to Bermuda as it is. Really stirring up the waters out there. But obviously, Emilda is going to be a lot bigger of a concern. So Humberto is just kind of curving around Bermuda. But, because of Humberto, it's actually pulling Emilda towards it. This is a bit of a Fujiwara effect that we call it. Where you got two lows that kind of revolve around each other. They kind of dance around each other. So, anyways, but yeah, definitely need you guys to prepare it. Now, on the forecast track, we are expecting this thing to become a Category 2, possibly as it's going over, if not near, Bermuda here. So, you can actually see in the forecast here for the morning of the 2nd, The Hurricane Center has this thing sustaining right around 100-mile-per-hour winds as it's right next to Bermuda here. So there's Bermuda. And at that point, gusting right around 120 miles an hour or so, which is definitely pretty crazy here, in which we're definitely going to need to watch out here very, very closely. So anyway, so yeah, that's that. Let's go and dive into some models here. I want to go ahead and kind of show you guys the latest data that we got here from the hurricane models. So let's take a peek over there, see what we got going on here. So let's hop you guys over there now. So once again, this is the satellite imagery here. You can see, I mean, it's looking pretty good. It's definitely convecting pretty hard right now. You can see that circulation really starting to go under here. There's a little bit of dry air on the southern side, but it's definitely kicking up pretty good out here. So hopping back over here to the models and stuff, so you can see at this point in time, and we have a pretty good understanding of where the thing's going to go at this point. We have a few outcast models. One, really pulling to the north. The HMNI model has this thing really going north. And then you have the UKMI having it going pretty far to the south. But the majority of the models, has this thing just, continuing northeast over the next several days, and then kind of doing a little bit of a swivel here. But yeah, I mean, this thing is going to be going over Bermuda, possibly direct landfall too. Which, we got to really look out for. Bermuda is kind of in the crosshairs here, in which, there's really no going back at this point. So Bermuda is definitely going to be hit very, very hard. Anyways, so in terms of the intensity guidance here, you can see over the next, the next 48 hours, next 2 days, we're going to be rapidly strengthening. And then once we kind of approach, the next 3 days out or so, it's going to start to decrease. It'll probably be within tropical storm force winds over at least the next 5 or so days, as the system continues pulling to the northeast here overall. So, like I mentioned, we're kind of definitely upper level category 1, lower end cat 2. As the time we approach Bermuda, it's going to be at its peak strength. Once it hits Bermuda, that's going to be where it is. It's at its peak. Let's see here. Tabletop says the wildest flop in the hurricane models I've seen, to be honest. Yeah, man, it was pretty crazy, But at the back of my head, I had that feeling that it could do some Fujiwara stuff, but I was just going off what the models were suggesting at the time. But yeah, I mean, because of the Fujiwara, because of Humberto and how big and how strong it got, it really influenced the track of that system. Because I don't know if you guys remember, we were really thinking this thing was going to slam into the United States. Thankfully, it turned because of Humberto. This is a very rare scenario where one hurricane actually saves another hurricane from making landfall. I mean, you could see, just how close it is to the states here. I mean, it's just off the coast of Florida. You got the curvature of Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida's coast. You can see that curvature, and it's just right there, just off the coast, man. So we got extremely lucky. Very, very lucky here with the system. So anyways, but yeah, it's already been in its closest approach here. It's already rolled through the Bahamas. They got some tropical storm conditions. Their threat for the Bahamas is pretty much over with, I believe. Yeah, there's no more watches or anything like that. You can see the the tropical storm force winds estimated within the yellow circle here. All of that's just north of the Bahamas at this point, so it's just all in the open waters. Then you got that hurricane forced conditions over here, kind of in the orange overall. So, and of course, the next few days it'll be tracking eastward. It's going to be on Wednesday, like we mentioned, the heaviest impacts for Bermuda. It's going to be sometime in the later portion of the day. You can see this is 2 p.m. on a Wednesday, category 1. And then by the 2 a.m. commute for Thursday, it's actually going to be a category 2. So we're going to be picking up between Cat 1 and Cat 2 as it approaches over Bermuda, which, they're probably going to see the system more towards Cat 2 because they're pretty close. I mean, this is going to be at 100 sustained by the time we hit 2 a.m. on Thursday. So that's 100-mile-an-hour sustained winds towards the core. Of course, we're going to be gusting upwards of about 120 miles an hour. So, on the forecast track here. So from the Hurricane Center, looking at the cone here, once again, there's Bermuda. You can see here that the forecast has it Category 2 for the morning of the 2nd, or Thursday. Once again, sustained winds, 98 rounded to 100 miles an hour, and then gusting up to right around 120 miles an hour. So it's going to be quite a storm, regardless. Cat 1, Cat 2. Cat 2 is still very much a big problem. Now, the models are a little bit different, which we're going to dive into those now. We were actually talking about this here earlier in yesterday's live stream when we did that update yesterday evening. So there's a couple of scenarios that could play out here with the impacts of Bermuda, in which it seems like one scenario has the system driving its way over Bermuda and causing a bit of dry air to pretty much cover, pretty much prevent a lot of excessive rainfall to occur. And then, of course, we have the other model scenario, which does show the system kind of rolling through and driving a lot of moisture. So let's look at the individual models here. We're going to start off with the HWRF here. So this is the first model we're going to take a peek at here. So we work our way down in time. Obviously, we do see some pretty good strengthening. Wow, this model has it getting down into the, wow, look at that. Really close approach according to the HWRF. But it has that system here in the lower 970, maybe upper 960 realm. So that's pretty significant. But, like I was mentioning, you can really see how the southern side of the storm, is really open and exposed because there's a lot of dry air. You can see that gap between our dew point and our temperature here in our mid-upper atmosphere. Very, very much dry air does get to the system on the southern side. So, if the system pulls south, this moisture will go over Bermuda. If the system pulls north, the dry air will likely go over Bermuda. So, rainfall totals is extremely difficult to forecast right now because of, these two scenarios here, So, once again, looking at the moisture, you can actually see, the brownish tan color here. This is representing that dry air we were just talking about. And then you got the bluish green here, which, that's indicating the more moisture-filled air, where there's more moisture, more precipitation, overall, stuff like that. Southern side remains dry. Northern side remains fairly saturated here. And then, of course, we're going to be kind of at peak strength once the system just pulls east of Bermuda here. Could be right around Bermuda. And then eventually the system will really encounter some heavy wind shear as well as some very, very dry air. So it seems like dry air is going to be a little bit of a problem for the system here overall. So that's the HWRF model's take here. Now, looking at the HMON, this is another model here. We work our way down in time here. The HMON has the system. I don't even see Bermuda on the map here. You know what? There it is right there. Very low. You know what? The HMON has a system really high north of Bermuda here. I want to say this is almost like an outcast type of run here. It's very interesting. But you can see that, there's Bermuda. I mean, really far from the center. If that was the case, that would be kind of best case scenario, but still very windy out there. Still some at least tropical storm conditions occurring. We got 50, 55 knot wind barbs. That's pushing 60, 65 miles an hour. So, that's still kind of mid-upper strength tropical storm, even if this did happen. Of course, that's not including higher gusts. That's sustained winds. But, like the HWRF model, it really does show where we have a lot of dry air, indicated in the brown here. Low relative humidity throughout the atmosphere, which will be good because that would limit the amount of rainfall that falls, limit the amount of flooding potential and stuff like that. While up north, you can see a lot of the heavy precipitation would still really come down up north. It just depends where the thing ultimately goes. So that's HMON. We got HAFSA here. This is another model. So this one, like I said, I think the HMON's a little bit of an outcast run, at least the last one. Because this is right on the money with HWRF. So this is the HAFSA. You can see the eye literally going right over Bermuda. And according to this, There will be dry air, as you can see, but likely not, not as dry as some of these other models were kind of suggesting here overall. But you can still see a pretty good amount of moisture in this scenario from the HFSA. If you look at the radar, you can actually see that there would be more precipitation, for the areas out there by Bermuda. But it seems like it's just relatively, for the most part, a dry system, at least on the southern side for the most part. Once again, if the system pulls north, it'll cause less rainfall for Bermuda. If it pulls south, it will induce a lot of rainfall for Bermuda. So it's just very, very much all over the place here. Still kind of with the precipitation. So it's just too early to tell, to be for sure. But anyways, center of the storm does go right over Bermuda here. Hurricane force conditions here. This shows the pressure in the upper 970s. So that would be right around category 1 or so, roughly, based off of pressure and size of the storm. So that's something we'll have to look into, especially the southwestern quadrant. Very, very windy down there with some pretty high gusts, I'm assuming. I mean, we're talking wind barbs of like 65 knots or so. So that's upper tropical storm force, but we're going to be gusting a little bit higher here. All right, so then we have the HAFSB. Has the center going right towards Bermuda, showing a bit of precipitation still, a bit of moisture still over the area. This would be a little bit more of a rainy scenario for the system here. HAFSB has the system getting down into maybe the lower 970s, upper 960s as we kind of go over Bermuda here. So that's pushing us in the realm of likely category 1, upper cat 1, lower cat 2 around this time, in which I personally have a feeling, whenever you introduce dry air into a system, it can be a little tricky to forecast, because some things that models can't pick up on occur. That can happen with any system, but it's a little bit more harder to forecast a system that has a lot of dry air intrusion sometimes. I really firmly believe we're going to be between upper cat 1, lower cat 2. I don't think it'll be any stronger than that because of the dry air. So for the people who's been wondering if it'll be any stronger than that, I doubt it. I think it'll be cat 2 at most, kind of what the forecast has us for. So, that's what I firmly believe in here overall. Anyways, so that's that. Let's take a peek here at some of the other models. So we have the global models, the GFS here. You can see a lot lower resolution, obviously, but has a system mid 970s here. A lot of that precipitation to the north here, a lot of that heavy rainfall. That's where all the moisture's at, is up north. Dry air intrusion on the south flank here. Then, of course, we have the ECMWF, which is the European model. Which is kind of weird, has like almost another vortice here, another little low here. So we got some double Fujiwara stuff going on. What the heck? That is weird. Why? That Euro has a really weird type of run here. That's pretty crazy. But it has, that's kind of, honestly, I don't really trust this, to be honest, because there's really no other model that supports that. But it does show kind of similar like other models, mid 970 millibar range here, which, would be right around category 1 or so. Fairly compact little 974 though, those isobar gradients are pretty steep. But anyway, so that's that. Once again, a lot of the rain will probably just be on the northern side of the system. This has been very consistent in the models for the last couple days. A lot of dry air intrusion on the south side. A lot of moisture up north. If the system dips down below, the center dips down below Bermuda, more rain for Bermuda. If it goes above Bermuda, less rain for Bermuda. So that's kind of where we're standing right now. It just depends exactly where it goes. But, this is one of those tricky systems where it's really difficult to forecast the amount of rainfall because of, how little wiggle room it will take for a big change in the, in the scenario, because of that dry air. So, if it, once again, goes north a little bit, less rainfall. If it goes south a little bit, possibly a lot of rainfall. So it's a little tricky. Good morning, Binksy. Good to see you, my friend. But anyway, so that's the models. That's kind of what we're looking at here with the system. Now, and obviously, we have Humberto as well. Humberto is rapidly falling apart. It's dying quickly. It's running into a lot of problems right now. One of those problems is a little bit of dry air on the western side of the storm here. It's definitely a little bit iffy right now. And then, of course, the other problem is a lot of wind shear that it's starting to encounter. If we actually take a look here at the upper air, you can see we have a really strong jet just kind of slamming that system here. And, eventually Emilda will run into some wind shear too, as it kind of gets carried by this strong jet stream here. Dry air, wind shear, going to kill both of these systems here overall. But it's going to be at its peak here once we approach Bermuda. What's up, Andy? Good to see you, my friend. Hopefully you're doing well. But yeah, so we'll definitely be watching it. Like I said, we will do some coverage. We'll definitely be sure to be here for you guys to cover the system as it does, go right over Bermuda here or right near Bermuda. So we'll definitely be watching it. Now, anything in the future, I don't really see, at least within reasonable time frame. Obviously, we don't want to look too far out in the models. Anything beyond 200 hours out, it's just a little too far out. I don't like to look too far, but it looks like we got some activity flaring up in the EPAC. Like I mentioned before, it really seems like when the Atlantic is calm, the EPAC picks up, and when the EPAC picks up, the Atlantic's calm. It's just weird. I mean, it's not all the time, of course, but I have seen it more often than not, I believe. So definitely quite interesting. But yeah, that's really what's going on with the system. Once again, we do have those hurricane watches in effect. Once again, I do expect those to be turned to warnings here later today, which will go live late tonight, probably right around 10 o'clock or so. We'll probably wait till 11 o'clock because I think we get 11 o'clock update. So we'll go live at probably 11 o'clock tomorrow night, or tonight, I should say. Lately I've been in full night shift mode. I've been awake all night, asleep during most of the day. So that's why we've been doing some late live streams here the last 2 days or so. My sleep schedule's been terrible, man, terrible. But it's kind of good, for a system like this, because some of the impacts are going to be happening later in the system. So I'll be fully energized. I'll be just waking up as we're going to do some coverage. Coming up here for Wednesday. We're going to go live on Wednesday, which that is, what is that? That's tomorrow, actually. I just realized the impacts are going to be tomorrow. Wow. For some reason, I was thinking it was Monday. Goodness. But yeah, so we'll definitely watch out for it, y'all. We'll definitely keep you guys in the loop with everything. We'll be live tomorrow, of course, to cover the system. We'll be live tonight to give you guys another update here. So update tonight, update Wednesday morning. I'll go to bed throughout Wednesday, and then we'll do Wednesday evening. We'll do the coverage for you guys. So we'll be here for you. And he says at least the USA East Coast is dodged. Thankfully, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it was a little iffy there for a minute. We actually thought the system was going to be a problem for the U.S. I mean, everybody was starting to freak out because of it. I mean, including myself. I was pretty concerned. Obviously, I started warning you guys to get prepared for it, which, as you should have. And it turns out the best case scenario happened. And even if you prepared for it, it's better to be, over-prepared than under-prepared. It's just how it is sometimes, and like I said, this is just one of those rare scenarios, which is very difficult to forecast. So, we were expecting it to be a problem for the United States. I mean, we even had tropical storm watches for Florida that never materialized. There was just so much uncertainty that just became within overnight, essentially. Models were having the thing slam into South Carolina, kind of North Carolina there for a while, very consistent. I told you guys we need to start preparing for it, as you should have, and I'm glad for the people who did. But then, like we said, we lucked out because of big old Humberto. It doesn't even look like a hurricane anymore. It just looks like a big disorganized mess, which is basically what it is, because we got some dry air going on here, and we also do have ourselves, quite a bit of wind shear that's getting to the system overall. It's just, Yeah, it doesn't really look very well, does it? Oh, what's this? Got a new system up here in the EPAC here. Let's switch our sat view real quickly. I want to see what we got going on over here. We'll do goes west. Let's see here. Maybe a mesoscale floater? Let's try Meso 2. Oh, Meso 2's up in Alaska. Let's try Meso 1 maybe. Oh, no, that's out west. Surprised they don't have a Meso on the new system here. It's interesting. Let's do North Pacific Ocean. There we go. There we go. That's the view I'm looking for. Okay, let's go ahead and play this in motion. So, this guy. Oh, wow. I'm pretty sure this was a moderate chance yesterday. I think it was at, what, 50, 60%? Now it's at 70%. So this one's a high chance of development here. This one's already a depression. 15E, 35 sustained, central low, central low 1005. It looks pretty good, actually. You know, it does. It actually looks pretty decent. We got some real heavy convection going on out here. Obviously, it looks like we got some pretty good close circulation here. You can see up top the wind's coming down this way. And you can see on the bottom the wind's going up this way. Really good circulation on the system here. Convection is looking pretty deep. I would not be surprised if that's going to be a tropical storm soon. I mean, it could even already be a tropical storm, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's a good possibility. I mean, that's only 5 short from one anyways. It's looking pretty organized, so there's a good chance that thing is already a tropical storm. It just hasn't been officially announced yet. It doesn't look like it's going to get that strong. It just kind of looks like it's going to be... looks like it's at 40 its whole life pretty much. Oh, well, never mind. There towards the end of the cone, it actually picks up quite a bit here in the forecast. Anything beyond this point is just too far out. It seems like it's going to be a pretty slow-moving system. Looks like we got some type of low up here. That might have been an old tropical cyclone. Could be wrong. Interesting. So we got a low over here. We got obviously a low right here. I think all of this convection is what this is going to ultimately be. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like in this area for this disturbance, it doesn't really seem like there's really much going on inside, which, you know, formation in the next 2 days is 0. So, yeah. Probably this has to do with it, I'm sure. Huh. Anyways, so that's what's going on in the tropics, y'all. Let's talk U.S. real quickly. Let's talk what's going on in the States. We got no severe weather today. Tomorrow, no severe weather. Day 3. Oh, what's this? Oh, just a general thunderstorm risk. Blah. Actually, it looks like we're pretty clear for severe weather the next 3 days. Yeah, we don't have any risk. Not even a single little marginal. Not even a tiny marginal. Just got a lot of thunderstorm threats today up here in the Rockies for the most part. I mean, this is just normal storms. This is nothing severe. That's good, though. Tomorrow looks good. Thursday looks good. Got none in the extended range. I'm 90% sure. Actually, I'm 99% sure. Haven't seen anything going on. Yep, look pretty good. Yeah, nothing really crazy going on in the States here. At least severe weather-wise. Let's check on our fall foliage here. Let's see what the clouds are. I need to go to bed. Let's see what the leaves are doing. Take a look at the foliage report. Oh, wow. We got some big changes since the last time we updated. Looks like we're starting to get some low color across a lot of the Ohio Valley, the plains here. Northeast is really kicking off, it looks like. Really up there in the northern plains and like the western Great Lakes seems to be really kicking up. Little to no color for a lot of the southeast here. Also the Rockies, but like what lives out here anyways? See, past peak. Oh, interesting. So this brown color is past peak. The dark red is peak color. The orange is high color. What is that kind of a what color is that? It's not an orange or it's not yellow. It's like what? Golden brown maybe? Moderate. Yellow is low color. It's coming down though, man. You know, from the previous reports that we've talked about on the channel, you know, not long ago. This has really changed a lot. Big time. Anyways, so that's that. I don't think we have any big flooding going on here. Let's look at the precipitation forecast. So this is the rain through the next 5 days for the states. Wow, it looks very dry. Florida. Yeah, it looks like Florida is going to be getting most of the precipitation here, especially coastal, which a lot of it's from the system. Let's see here. Got quite a bit of precip up by the north here. Pacific Northwest got quite a bit of rain, especially up there by like Washington's coast. PNW, it's pretty wet over there. Up north, so remember, this is the next 5 days worth of precipitation. So, I mean, even these areas in the blue, this is like less than an inch over the next 5 days, which even this is pretty dry. So, and of course, you got these black areas. This is just where no precipitation is expected. You know, a lot of the southern plains, Midwest, Ohio Valley, Northeast here. It's just, man, there's not much going on in the country, which is, I mean, good, of course. Yeah. So, no severe weather. I don't even think we have really any excessive flooding. I mean, we got a little level 1 today. Tomorrow, dude, look at that. Tomorrow, we got like nothing except for a tiny little place here. Tiny little place here. And then day 3. Yeah, the U.S. is not having much activity right now. Flooding. Severe weather, it's just dry. I think we have a lot of prevailing high pressure right now. Actually, a matter of fact, we do. Got a huge ridge up there by like Canada. Still very high pressure up across the country. Yeah, that's keeping us pretty dry. Let's see, I'm ready to shamelessly eat my kids' Halloween candy. And ready for Thanksgiving leftover sandwiches. Yeah, me too. Thanksgiving I'm ready for, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, honestly, I'm ready for Thanksgiving. That I am. You know what I'm really ready for? I'm ready for the 4th of July, but that's a little far away. Very far away. 4th of July is actually my favorite holiday. There's just something about fireworks. I love fireworks, by the way. It's actually another hobby of mine is pyrotechnics, which is pretty cool. Fireworks. Cookouts, pool parties, dude, it doesn't get better than that. So, but yeah, I'm ready for Thanksgiving too, I ain't gonna lie. Thanksgiving's pretty good too. It's a good way to get fat. Yep. Pumpkin pie too. I eat a lot of pumpkin pie. It's so good, dude. So good. Man. I'm sure it's already out by now, isn't it? Have you guys seen any pumpkin pie out there in the grocery stores yet? I've been eating a lot of watermelons too. Those will probably be going away soon, sadly. I love my watermelons. By the way, guys, if you have any questions about the weather, let me know, okay? Rich says, sure is. Sure is what? What, pumpkin pies? Oh, or 4th of July. Bring on the fireworks and hot dogs too. Yeah, exactly, dude. You get it. You get it. 4th of July is the best holiday. Period. I mean, New Year's is pretty good, too, because you get, you know, fireworks and stuff, but it's just cold, usually. It's just cold. You can't swim. I mean, even in Florida, by the time New Year's happens, it's pretty cold. You know, the pools get a little chilly. Yeah. Not really, not really the best. Anyways, folks. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, hey, don't hesitate to ask. We are more than happy to help. But yeah, we're going to be talking a lot about Emilda over the next several days. You know, we've been doing some other streams. We've been flying into the system on here. Like yesterday, last night, we did some flying and my stream cut out, which was nice. So we'll probably be doing some more of that. I think when we do coverage, I think I'm going to set up my own different panel, like a different display. We're going to have the radar, satellite view, live cameras, face cam, and some of the other stuff, like current observations and stuff. Maybe I can whip up a quick little AI generated code that'll give us latest information, like data wise. And then we will be flying in the storm in Flight Sim, which simulates real weather and stuff, which would be pretty cool. So maybe I'll try to land at Bermuda during it. That's going to be a challenge, man. That's going to be a challenge. Anyways. But yeah, guys, like I said, just please be careful. You know, if you know anybody out there, just, you know, give them a heads up, man. Let them know. You know, we have hurricane watches in effect. Like I said, those are likely going to be warnings next time we update you guys, which I would bet $100 that they would be. So, yeah, so those are likely going to be warnings tonight. I mean, because tonight will be 24 hours before the impacts are peak. Which correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the Hurricane Center does 36 hours out before an event for hurricane or tropical storm watches, and 24 hours out for tropical storm warnings and hurricane warnings. I'm pretty sure. I think they can do extensions sometimes as well. Sometimes if, you know, confidence is just way too high, I believe they can do it a little earlier. I could be wrong, but pretty sure that's how that is. Pretty sure. But yeah, those will likely be warnings later tonight. So, you know, once again, have your checklist done. Have food. Have water. If you're gonna wait, if you're gonna, you know, ride it out, have food, water, flashlight, extra batteries, portable chargers. Make sure they're charged. If you have a generator, make sure it's filled with gas. Make sure you have plenty of reserve gas. Make sure the oil's good. Important documents, put them in your safe spot, you know, interior portion of your home. You know, like birth certificates. I would say Social Security, but we obviously this is Bermuda. They don't have Social Security. So just important documents, you know, just stuff like that. You can just throw in there, you know, insurance papers, whatever. Trying to think of other things. First aid kit, have one of those available. Fire extinguisher, medications. That's pretty much the main thing. Weather radio. I don't know if Bermuda has weather radio, do they? I'm used to the United States. You know, obviously we have no weather radios everywhere, but I don't think Bermuda does, because Bermuda is not a U.S. territory. I think it's English territory, right? Could be wrong. Anyways, what's up, Monster? Good to see you. But yeah, that's really about all I can think about when it comes to, you know, getting ready for the system. You know, just all that stuff. Make sure you have it and make sure it's ready to go. You know, don't wait till last minute. You know, just do what you do. And I'm sure there's probably people evacuating. Actually, I'm curious to see real quickly. Let me try something real quickly. I'm curious to see if anybody is actually like doing flights out. I wonder if there's a lot of flights leaving Bermuda. Oh. No, that's going to Bermuda, I think, right? There's a flight that left Bermuda here. I'm sure there's a few people on here that's like leaving because of the storm. Where did this one come from? This one came down from Puerto Rico. Gotcha. Yeah, so, but if you're going to stay, just make sure that you are ready to tackle it. Anyways. But yeah, I mean, that's really about all we need to talk about today, y'all. That's really all the updates that we have for you. You know, like I mentioned, just a little bit of a summary for the people who are just joining. System heaviest impacts are going to be later Wednesday. System's going to be upper Category 1, lower Cat 2. And yeah, it's going to be pretty impactful. We have not looked at the waves. Let's actually look at that real quickly. Let's bring y'all back over here. Let's see what those waves are looking like now. Here's GFS. So there's Bermuda. Ooh, yeah. Those waves look like they could be, well, 20, 30 foot maybe. According to GFS, of course. I know we got some real big rip current problems going on in the States right now. You know, across the East Coast. Let's see, Euro. Yeah, whoa, buddy. Euro's real aggressive. Yeah, Euro easily puts it in 27-ish, 28, 29 feet or so. That's like really rough waters out there. Wow, look at the ripple. I mean, look how much that really affects the water here. I mean, look at it spread out over time. You know, that just goes to show you how these atmospheric phenomenons can really, really affect the waters out there, because all that wind moves around so much water. Just crazy, man. Which it looks like, yeah, it already looks like Bermuda's likely seen some high waves out here. Goodness. Yeah, I mean, because they got two systems going by. They have whatever Humberto is at this point. You know, Humberto doesn't even look like a hurricane anymore, like we mentioned. Here, let's hop back over here. Goes east. Yeah, look at it. It doesn't even look like a hurricane. It just looks like a big blob of convection. I mean, even the circulation looks terrible. I don't even think it's going to last that much longer. I mean, I will be surprised if it's still a hurricane as we actually get up here. I mean, this shows 81, 86. Yeah. Right now it's at 100 sustained. And then this afternoon it has it down to 86, dude. This thing, and then it has it just kind of sitting there for a little bit. In terms of strength, I should say. Not movement. Yeah, I don't think I think it does continue weakening. Dude, all that dry air and wind shear, it's just killing it. Chris says it'll be interesting to see a merger from Humberto and Isabella. You mean Imelda? There is no Isabella. Yeah, we got Humberto and Imelda. But they're not gonna like fully merge. They're just gonna Fujiwara. They're just gonna dance around each other because central pivot point's like right in here, right now. So the system's just dragging along. So this system's going up and over. This one's just kind of being dragged behind it. You know, because you got a lot of inflow, right? So you got all this air that just gets sucked towards Humberto, and then along that you have this guy, which is Amelia. Amelia. Right? Imelda. I don't even know the name of it, bro. I just need to go to bed. Like I said, I've been total night shift last couple nights. So I've been up all night. So, Imelda. Okay. What's the next storm in the line? Let's see here. 2025 hurricane names. Let's see what we got. So we have... Oh, here we go. Okay. Here's the names this year. Oh, Jerry. Oh. Oh, we got a Karen. Oh, that's going to be a rough one. Y'all. That's going to be in October, isn't it? Oh, no. Oh, jeez. Karen, Lorenzo, I doubt we're going to get over here. I mean, you never know, but I doubt it. So we've had Andrea, Barry, Chantel, Dexter, Aaron, Fernand, Gabrielle, Humberto, Imelda, Jerry. So next one's Jerry. Must be Tom and Jerry. Yeah, and then we got Karen. Ooh. Did it just get cold in here? That's not gonna be a good one, man. I'm warning you now. Karen's gonna be a bad one. Let's hop back to models real quick. So Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to have anything else anytime soon. Within reasonable standpoint here. Okay, well... Yeah, I mean, this is way beyond. I don't want to go any further than 180 hours out. Let me, Here. Let me check ensembles. Here, I'll bring you guys over here. ECENS. Let's see. We're going to go to the first 180 hours out. Oh. Hello. That is not where I circle. There we go. So we got our Cabo Verde. Got a few little members here showing a low. What about GEFS? Few. Oh? What is GEFS on? Shows a few other members here. That is not where I want to go. What about GDM FNV3? Okay, nothing in the Western Caribbean. I don't know, man. There's a little bit of support here. Look at that. I mean, not much. Very spread out, too. But all three support it. All four support it. I think even GFS kind of showed a little bit of it. Here, let's... GFS here. You can kind of see it down there. I think that's what it is. Watch us get a Halloween hurricane. Knock on wood. Yeah, looks like we got a little wave. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty consistent there. Look at that. This is the last several runs. No, tabletop, nothing going over there. Euro maybe. Little wave. Probably limited moisture. Anywho. Yep, so really nothing other than that. So right now everything, the main problem is just Emilda. Here, let's look at winter weather. I know you guys are excited about that, right? Right? I know half of you guys just went, no. I don't think it's too early. Whoa! Hey, yo, what? What's going on here? That is 200 plus hours out, though. Yeah, we'll see what happens. That'll change 1,000 times. Yeah, I think it's too cold still for, or sorry, too warm still for winter weather. I mean, we've already had some snow this year. Let me bring up Pivotal real quickly. I think we can look at the seasonal totals. Let's see here. Observed snowfall. Oh my goodness, we've had a lot of snow this year. Holy cow. Y'all ready for this? You guys better be ready for the amount of snow that we've seen this year. It's actually really crazy. Holy cow. Y'all, look at this. Hardly anything. We have a little bit of snow in the upper levels, but yeah, a few little, maybe a couple inches in some of the peaks out here, but that's it. Oh, wait a minute. This is from last... Wait, hold on a minute. No, that's the last 24 hours. What am I looking at? This is from last year, wasn't it? Yeah, it is, because we had that really big snowstorm down in the southeast here. Northeast got quite a bit this year. Or last year. All right, everybody. Well, we pretty much literally went over everything here. I mean, we talked about just about everything: severe weather, winter weather, flooding, tropics, obviously. Um, yeah, really, not much more can be said. So we're probably gonna wrap it up for now. But we'll be back here later tonight. We'll have more information for you guys. By tonight, we'll have new model data. We'll obviously have new, observations, new current data. One of the big changes I think we're going to have tonight is going to be the transition from tropical storm watches transition from hurricane watches to hurricane warnings. I really believe that here, honestly, it wouldn't be surprised the next update if they threw out hurricane warnings for Bermuda. So please, if you know anybody in Bermuda, give them a heads up. Let them know. Once again, be prepared. I think that's the biggest changes that's going to be made tonight is hurricane warnings, I believe, will be in effect here tonight for Bermuda. And then we'll have some new model data, new observations, like I said. So, all right, everybody. Well, you guys take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day. If you have school, work, whatever, enjoy it. Have a good day. I know I know it's not super enjoyable, but I just hope you guys have a good day out there. And alrighty, everybody. Well, thanks for joining. Y'all take care, and we'll see you guys later tonight, all right? All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Catch y'all later on. Peace out, my friends. See ya later on.